This is a HeadGum podcast.
Hello and welcome to The Complete Guide to Everything, a podcast about everything. I'm one of your hosts, Tom.
And I'm Tim.
Tim, how are you doing this week?
I'm raring to go. This is the best I've felt in 2022. Let's do it.
Wow. Why is that?
I don't know.
Is it all the supplements we've been being given lately from sponsors?
That's probably partially it. I've been taking
take them all at once.
Regimen of powders and pills and vitamins every day.
The healthiest we've ever been, thanks to podcasting.
Exactly.
Who would have guessed?
Podcasting can transform your life and your brain. No, I don't know. I don't know why. I feel like I'm getting manic. I haven't been outside in days. Maybe this is just being stir crazy. How are you doing this week?
I'm good. That's one of my problems, actually. That's one of those things where I'm always trying to, because I'm so bad at knowing myself, knowing my body. And I've been trying to get better at keep track of what you're eating and doing and figure out what makes you feel good, what makes you feel bad. But the problem is whenever I'm feeling good, physically, mentally and everything, I'm don't question it too much or else it'll go away.
Exactly. Instead of investigating what it is making you feel this way, you're just it's some sort of alchemy, some sort of strange thing.
I think it's just God. I think God just decided I should feel good right now.
Yeah.
Instead of realizing no, this is the 1 week over the past 6 months you've gotten a decent night's sleep most of the time. You've gone to bed on time and woken up on time, or you've gone out for a walk.
Yeah. So I'm in a good mood, but I also can't account for any of my time.
Yeah.
Do you have this where weeks
I had
will
that
pass?
this week. I mean, this is Thursday, and I was it's Thursday? Thought
It's
it was
dangerous.
Tuesday.
Do you think these supplements are doing something to our brains?
Yeah, it's speeding up time. It's great.
That's exactly what we want.
Let me tell you though, I had one night this week where I did not sleep well at all. And that was because I've been
Christmas Eve. You were awaiting St. Nicholas's visit.
I said this week, Tim, not last month. So this past Sunday, I did. I've been doing these Twitter. No, even more addictive, Tim. These Twitter Spaces, where it's a live chat and everything. I'm a Twitter something or other creator for Twitter.
Nice. You should probably figure out what the title is.
Twitter Spaces Sparks creator.
Okay. Sparks. You're starting a fire. Can't start a fire without a spark, Tom.
That's what I said to them. And they were like, this guy's got it. He's in.
He's a poet.
So I've been doing Twitter Spaces twice a week. And this last Sunday, I did. I think I'm going to do it this Sunday, too. If you're hearing this, it's too late.
You say that in some form of another every week. If you're hearing this, it's too late.
Yeah, usually it's just one person in particular.
Yeah, exactly.
Usually it's on a cassette that I've mailed them. But I did this one this past Sunday Scaries, where it was a late night paranormal talk type thing.
But with a sexy twist.
Hey, you'll have to tune in to find out. But maybe I won't do it again because what then happened that night, I didn't even know. I read about this later that somebody was talking about reading a book about spooky things and they're and then spooky things started happening to me.
Right.
I think sometimes spooky things, if they know you're interested in spooky things, they'll come happen to you.
Do you think that's the simplest explanation for that?
Absolutely, Tim. It's Occam's razor.
All right.
But hopefully you'll agree with me for this. So Sunday night, I'm in bed, I'm sleeping, and my dog gets up, and she gets up in the middle of the night, sometimes gets a little slurp of water.
Well, that's annoying.
It's very annoying. It's also annoying because then like I can't close the door at night because it's like, she might want water and to go out and get water.
You're not going to put a bowl of water in your bedroom. You'll kick that thing over in the dark every single night of your life.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Never do that. Plus she's a real slob when she drinks. It goes everywhere.
Yeah, it's true. So
I hear her like walking in. And I don't hear any slurping, as I like to call it, for like a minute or so. And I'm like, what's going on? Like, how come I'm not hearing any drinking and I'm not hearing her walking around? So like I finally like turn over, open up my eyes, and I can see she's wrapped up in a blanket, which she normally does at night. Mm-hmm. She's wrapped up in a blanket, standing in the doorway, looking into the living room, looking up at something. Just completely frozen like a statue, looking up at something about 6 feet tall.
Yikes.
Oh boy. And I just like,
you get spooked so easily, Tom, when you get worked up.
And I was all worked up, Tim, because I had to do this Sunday Scaries thing. So I'm laying there and I'm like, all right, she's got to come back inside. And then finally I was like, Ginger. And normally that's all it takes, but she doesn't even look. And now I'm like, all right, Ginger.
Wait, you didn't get up to scope it out?
No.
Too afraid?
I don't want to know. So I'm like calling her name and she's not coming in. And I'm like, I'm going to have to go out there and get her. And I'm like, I'm going to have to go out there and get her. And I can see she's looking at such an angle that there's either somebody standing in the middle of our living room or there's somebody floating outside the window. Either way, I couldn't be less interested.
What would you have preferred? A real life person in front of you in your living room or a specter outside the window?
I think a specter outside the window, right?
Just making sure. Yeah.
Because a person inside, that's a legitimate thing that can happen.
That you have to do something about, too.
Exactly. Like that, all of a sudden, it'd be, all hell would break loose.
Yeah, Spectre, you can close the curtains and just hope for the best.
Right. If it's like a vampire, they have to be invited in. And if it's a little vampire tapping on my window like, hey, let me come in. Like, no way, Jose. I know your deal.
I know that accent.
I know that Transylvanian accent anywhere. And where they were in the living room / kitchen, they would have been right near that new magnetic knife strip.
Oh, nice.
So it would have been awful. They would have been able to grab 5 different knives if they wanted to.
You should move that magnetic knife strip into the bedroom with you when you go to bed every night. I
mentioned that to my girlfriend that it should be right above our headboard, so you don't even have to get out of bed to grab it.
Have you ever considered having a weapon by your side while you sleep at night?
I've considered it, but I've never done it.
Yeah, same. I mean, I'm thinking like a baseball bat.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I would do too, like a little bat or baton or something.
Yeah.
But I feel like
baton, not even the freaking.
Yeah, Tim, I'm a cheerleader. I'm in the cheer squad.
All I can think of is, what are you, in the parade?
But I don't think it's a great idea to have a weapon right by your bed, because when you're in your bed, you're asleep, and then you wake up and you're disoriented.
Yeah, and you're very easily spooked in the middle of the night. So I could see you kneecapping your girlfriend with a baton
Exactly.
and she's getting a glass of water.
Yeah, so it's like, actually, I don't know where my weapons are currently.
Yeah. I mean, this is why. Tom, this is why I tell you, if you're gonna have this many illegal guns, you have to keep track of them.
I don't have any guns, legal or illegal. But also, like, I feel fairly confident. A New York City apartment, like, our door's metal and it has a deadbolt. Like, I feel like it would take more than one kick to get it down.
Right.
And I would hear that. So anyway, I finally walk out into the living room and she doesn't even react to me. She's still just staring into space, but at least I can see there's nothing human beings can see. You know, it's.
Is that worse though?
A little bit, yeah. Well, I don't know if it's worse than seeing something. Tim, if I saw something, I'd have to move.
This is true.
At least with this, I can be like, oh, the crazy dog's just being crazy. But I had to like tap her, and it was like she was in a trance. And then she was like, oh, where am I?
So what's the verdict? Do you just have a weird dog? Your dog is weird.
Yeah, but she's not weird in that way usually.
Right.
She's weird in plenty of other ways, but she's never really done that before. Right. Which is why it was alarming. But also, like,
has she been acting like herself since?
She's been floating since then,
brother.
And her eyes turned red. But no, I was more worried about a paranormal thing than like a prowler, because if there was if somebody had broken into the apartment and they were standing in the middle of the room, she would have gone over to them. She would have gone up to them, tail wagging, like, "Oh, hi, I'm Ginger, pet me."
Unless yeah, I mean, I guess she's that way with me. Does she bark at people the way that she barks at me?
No, she only, like, the way she barks at you is the only way she barks at people, which is like, I want attention.
Right.
Not as a, like, I'm so frustrated it's now coming out as a bark.
Dog, your dog's weird, Tom. I don't want to be the guy to tell you this, but you got a weird dog on your hands.
I know I've got a weird dog. I don't need you to tell me. Tim, I didn't even tell you half the weird things she does during the day.
So, so did you just like not sleep the rest of the night?
Yeah, pretty much. And like by this point, my girlfriend had woken up, and you know, it was one of those situations of like when I came back in, she's like, "What's going on?" And it was like, you probably don't want to know the actual answer.
Well, that's the worst thing you could say to her.
Yeah, not like, "Oh, Ginger wanted water and I had to go to the bathroom." It's like, no. Oh, no, I didn't even hesitate. I immediately told her, because I sleep closer to the door. The demon's going to get me.
Right.
So now, she should know.
How does she feel about things like this when you're up all night afraid of demons and it affects her sleep in some way?
Yeah, well, then she hides my books from me. I'm not allowed to read my scary books anymore.
One time I got a graphic novel version of some Edgar Allan Poe stories when I was a child. I was in like second grade. And I was reading that and I was enjoying it. But then it concurrently happened with me finding out about the ghost in the movie 3 Men and a Baby. And that freaked me out.
Which is not a real ghost.
Yeah, I know, but that freaked me out. No, it's the ghost of a kid that killed himself in that very apartment. And so, like, I had trouble sleeping.
That, like these two things tie in together.
Well, no, this is the thing.
Of course, 3 Men and a Baby is adapted from an Edgar Allan Poe original story.
This is the thing. I'm going somewhere with this. So it just so happened, like, the day or the week that I'm reading this Edgar Allan Poe graphic novel is the week that I find out about 3 Men and a Baby. It gives me nightmares. Like, I'm freaked out about because that's real life. And so I'm not sleeping well, and I'm, like 7 or 8 years old. So my parents are just like, we're going to have to take away that Edgar Allan Poe book. He's freaked out by it. And I was so furious, but I also couldn't tell them, like, no, I'm afraid of the movie 3 Men and a Baby, because then I can't watch Ted Danson movies or Steve Guttenberg movies ever again.
Yeah, actually, what I need you to do is get rid of this Ted Danson life-size cutout that I have in my room. Right? That's what the ghost is? That's what's behind the curtain?
I think so. Yeah. I don't know. It's never been proven. Most people still think it's a ghost.
God, they probably thought, like, God, our kid's such a nerd. He's getting scared by Edgar Allan Poe.
I know. And really, It's Ted Danson all along.
Yeah. Well, what have we learned from this, Tim? Maybe we should be braver men. Tim, it's Banana Week here at the Complete Guide to Everything. Couldn't tell you why.
Seems as good a topic as any, I guess.
Yeah. I was kind of surprised we've never talked about bananas. Where would you say bananas rank in your fruits of choice?
Ooh, Tom?
In your fruits of the loom, as it were.
If
you had to fill a loom with fruits.
What do you think a loom is?
That in my mind, I think it's a cornucopia because that's what is in the fruit of a loom.
No,
but the underwear is the fruit of the loom.
It's the fruit that the loom
has produced.
I never thought of it that way. I also thought that cornucopia. And what is a cornucopia? Yeah. What is that?
It's a thing. It's just like a basket kind of.
Where do they get that cone from?
I think it's woven. I think it's all like a wicker basket.
That might be a fruit of the loom also.
I don't think they make that with a loom. No,
I guess not. I saw a big loom one time. It was in all honesty, not that exciting. I don't like bananas very much, Tom. Look.
Really?
I think for a long time I told myself they'd be up near the top. But I think that's just because you learn about, like, apple, banana.
Which is one of the basic fruits you learn about.
Orange. Lemon, even though we never ate lemons,
Yeah, I mean, the basic fruits in America, at least, that you eat: apples, bananas, grapes, oranges.
Tom, I think you forgot.
By hand.
Tomatoes.
But you don't bite into, I'm saying like that you eat raw just as is. Mm-hmm. And then you've got your peaches, your nectarines.
Plums.
I mean,
hey, don't forget plums, Tom.
Tim, you didn't let me get to plums. I was going to say plums. But those are more secondary. I mean, maybe if you're in certain parts of the country, certain ones are going to be more popular. Like peaches are more popular in the South because they grow in the South,
right?
But for the average American Joe, apples, bananas, strawberries. I guess there are a lot of fruits out there, huh?
Yeah, and I gotta say, this might have something to do. I realized like fairly recently that whenever I eat a banana, I have trouble taking deep breaths for a while. So I think I'm probably mildly allergic to them. Which I guess it's fair to not like them in that case.
Yeah, that certainly sounds like it. I mean, you're not supposed to have trouble taking deep breaths after any kind of food.
Yeah. And I like you were saying, Tom, really, I'm the same way. I'm very bad at like cause and effect with my body. If I like feel weird, I'll never be like, what could have caused this weird feeling?
Like, I guess I don't like bananas. If that's the way my body's reacting.
But I will say, as a convenient portable snack, you could do worse than a banana.
It's definitely the best portable fruit because it's the only portable fruit that you're not going to get messy eating it.
Right. Yeah, like
an orange. Eat an orange.
Yeah.
Sticky hands.
Yeah.
Even an apple can be too juicy, and you can get some apple juice on you.
I'm not worried about that aspect of an apple. I just think it doesn't travel well because it doesn't have its own protective carrying case the way that a banana and
orange
not
only
does.
that, but bananas bruise, I guess, or apples bruise, but I guess bananas bruise too.
Also, bananas are BS. I just bought bananas for the first time in a long time. I guess I should stop eating bananas and buying them if I'm determined that I'm allergic to them, and I don't really like them. But
did you buy them because of this episode?
No,
or
I bought them
coincidence?
like a week ago.
All right.
But I had to buy them green. And that's the other thing about bananas. You're always like working on their schedule, right?
Yeah.
Like you can't just buy it and be like, all right, this will be good if I want to eat it right when I get home, or if I want to eat it 4 days from now, it's going to be fine. This is just like, you have to like inspect the color, and it's just like, well, maybe if I can buy this banana, but not that banana, because if I don't eat that banana by Tuesday, that banana is going to be bad, but I can't eat this banana before Monday evening. It's enough. Let me live my life, bananas.
A lot of it is kind of like, all right, well, I hope I'm in the mood for a banana Wednesday afternoon, because that's when this banana is going to be perfect.
And then you read all this bullshit that's like, oh, just put it in a paper bag with an apple. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do stuff like that. And I don't think it works anyway. And if I put it in a paper bag with an apple, I'm probably going to forget about it. And then I've ruined the banana and the apple.
I thought you were going to say, if I put it in a paper bag with an apple, God knows what I'm going to find in there when I open it back up.
Yeah, you don't you don't put those two together in
Yeah,
an
you
enclosed
wind
space.
up with something that you have to put down because it's an abomination. It can't breathe on its own. It can't survive. I'm thinking about that because I saw like one of these cows with 3 eyes just got born again.
What newspaper are you reading that this is a
World
newsworthy event?
And it's one, I forget what country it was in, but it's like people
is
are flocking
international
to,
news.
yeah, people are flocking to worship it.
Oh,
And it's like,
brother.
it's just like a birth defect that poor calf's.
Yeah,
Like that poor calf should have immediately been put down, but now people are flocking to worship it. So it's just going to like struggle breathing for a week before it dies.
thanks for
but
bringing
bananas.
it up, Tom. Yeah, bananas.
We're talking about bananas, not mutant cows. So yeah, definitely the easiest of the fruits to bring around. I was going to say grapes are also not too messy as long as you're not fucking around with them, trying to eat the skin off and then eat them.
Yeah, but you can't throw a bunch of grapes into a backpack and
Right. You'll wind up with a backpack full of wine.
yeah. I mean, if you leave it long enough.
Yeah. And if you have yeast in your bag, which I
Do you
usually
need yeast
do.
for wine?
I think so. I think you need something to react with the sugars.
Oh, you just needed grapes and thyme.
No.
Natural
I think
fermentation.
I think I'm sure in like certain situations that mold would like yeast would eventually get in there or something.
Yeah,
But
I mean,
no, I think you need to add yeast.
not in the wine that I make, but
Because
agree to disagree.
The yeast is what turns the sugar. It eats sugar and poops out alcohol.
right.
God, can you imagine if that were people? That'd be great.
Why
Eat
you'd start
candy
eating your
all day.
poop.
You eat candy all day, and then your poop gets you all messed up.
I mean, I'm sure your poop would get you all messed up, Tom, if that's what you're after.
Not in a good way.
Yeah.
Yeah. So bananas. Do you know about how to slow down the ripening process?
Put it in the refrigerator, maybe.
Tam, don't put it in the refrigerator. That's one. Actually, that does slow it down. But
Okay.
but I'm trying to find where it is in my notes. It can be very bad for bananas. It'll turn your bananas brown and black, or at least like the outside. It sounds like the inside sometimes okay.
So
but
who cares? I'm not looking for status. Oh, I need a perfectly yellow banana, otherwise the other kids will laugh at me. As long as the inside's fine, not mushy.
Yeah, but I don't know. The outside still, because I've done this a few times where I've stupidly frozen bananas without peeling them.
Oh yeah, a few times, Tom. That should be a mistake you make once.
Look, the bananas were overripe and I panicked and threw them in the freezer. Because then not only did they turn black, then you like can't peel them either.
Yeah, because they're all frozen.
Yeah, the peel gets stuck to it.
Yeah.
In a way that's unappetizing. I have bananas a few times a week, Tim.
Really?
Yeah.
I take it you're not allergic to them?
I don't think so. They don't make me feel bad.
Do you breathe as normal once you eat them?
Sure do. Unless I try and eat them all in one go.
Yeah,
and then
I've seen that happen. That happens with like most foods with you, though.
But I mix them into a smoothie. They're great for a smoothie. Really thickens up a smoothie.
Agreed. Tom, go ahead.
Well, and I was gonna say, my girlfriend eats them most mornings. She makes toast and then peanut butter on the toast, and then sliced up bananas on there. Bananas and peanut butter, great combination, huh?
Yeah, Tom. I used to eat a breakfast all the time where it was bananas, eggs, and peanut butter, and you mash it all up in a skillet and you cook it, and it's great.
Is it?
Yeah.
I don't know if that banana and egg doesn't sound good.
But it's like scrambled eggs with bananas filling it out. I'm telling you, Tom, try it. And peanut butter.
I said banana and eggs don't sound good together, and you're like, yeah, but this is like eggs and then banana.
Yeah, did I sell you on it? And then afterwards, you can't breathe. You're enjoying it. You're in the peanut. You're gasping for air. Everybody's having a great time.
Tim, one of the reasons why I think bananas are so good in smoothies is bananas can't be juiced.
Right.
There's no juice in a banana.
They say the same thing about me.
There's no juice in you?
Yeah, you can't juice me.
I distincly remember, Tim, when we first became roommates, like, I don't know, an insanely long time ago now. One of the first big purchases we went in on together was a juicer, a Jack LaLanne juicer.
Yeah, why did we do that?
I mean, this should give you an idea of how long ago this was. Jack LaLanne was still alive and selling juicers.
Jack LaLanne was still with us. He was still selling juicers and pulling tugboats with his teeth.
30 years old. He was in the prime of his life. But I just remember distinctly that this juicer had like multiple warnings on the juicer and in the instruction manual about juicing bananas.
Yeah.
That you can't juice bananas. All you're going to do is make a mess and ruin this thing if you do that.
Then we had a roommate who used the juicer and never cleaned it out, and then fruit flies lived in the juicer.
Yeah. And you could juice fruit flies, though.
Yeah, it turns out they had a nice little color to
yeah, I'm pretty sure she did juice some fruit flies. Yeah, the juicer, like, juicers are great, but they're a lot of work because it's not, yeah, I guess technically it is juicing things, but like what it's doing is separating like fiber from juice.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's
you still
taking
have to
all the good stuff for you out of the equation so you could drink the sugar water.
Exactly. But that good stuff doesn't. If you think it tastes bad in the fruit or vegetable to begin with, boy, it tastes really bad once you take all the flavor out of it.
Yeah.
But you got to throw that stuff out. And our roommate at the time did not understand this at all.
Huh. Those were simpler times, Tom. We drank a lot of juice for like a couple weeks and then forgot about it because nobody wanted to clean it.
None of us had a ton of money either. So it was like, why am I spending all this money on fruit that I'm then...
And it wasn't even filling. We were taking the fiber out of it. So we were spending a lot of money on fresh fruit. We went to the fancy grocery store around the block. Yeah. We weren't going to like a cheap fruit market. We probably, and then you don't even get a meal out of it. You get a glass.
It's like I spent $8 on all these carrots, and now I have a shot glass worth of carrot juice to drink.
And then we go to the bar and drink 15 beers every night.
Yeah, it was like, surely this will undo the massive damage that I'm putting on my body every day.
We don't have we don't have very many more years ahead of us, do we, Tom?
Not at this rate. Not with you eating things you're allergic to and not understanding that. Tim, what's the most famous animal that likes eating bananas?
Tom, let's not beat around the bush. It's a dang monkey. You're talking about a monkey.
It's a monkey. Monkeys love bananas. However, did you know monkeys rarely encounter bananas in real life, like outside of humans giving them to them?
Well, they have to go on a jungle adventure, it seems like, and then they find bunches of the bananas in the trees, and they collect them.
The monkeys
the
or
monkeys.
Me? Oh, okay. No,
haven't
they
you ever
don't
played
do
Donkey
that.
Kong Country?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I guess that, yeah, this Wikipedia article I read about bananas did not mention the evidence to the contrary that monkeys do find bananas in nature. Well, I guess it's not really nature. They were inside of like crates and stuff.
Yeah. Well, no, sometimes they're just hanging
or
in
just
trees.
suspended in the air.
Yeah. What was that supposed
over a
to
chasm.
be? Those bananas in the game and the coins in Super Mario Brothers, were they just like floating in air?
Yeah, I don't think they ever really got too into it. I think they were like, look, if you believe the rest of this shit.
Maybe there'll be a backstory in the new Super Mario movie starring Chris Pratt.
Yeah, maybe Chris Pratt will explain it to us. That'd be nice. That'd be great. You think he's going to do an Italian voice or no?
No, he's not. But nobody could do an Italian voice. Like they can't make a whole movie with like an Italian stereotype voice in the main character.
Well, people want him to use I forget the guy's name, but the guy who does Mario's voice.
Yeah.
But I think they underestimate how quickly annoying that would get when it's not just a whoo-hoo.
Yeah, exactly. Did you hear that? So everybody's upset because Chris Pratt is also doing the voice of someone else.
Oh yeah, who? Yeah, some other character.
And people are furious. I don't know, not the Grinch. That's Benedict Cumberbatch.
Yeah.
But I read.
Oh, Garfield.
Oh yeah, weird.
Yeah.
And also like, oh, God forbid we ruin Garfield's legacy. Like people are acting like they're I'm a big Garfield guy and I'm pissed that Chris Pratt's gonna do that voice.
I mean, I still just don't understand the celebrity voice over work, just because it's like Chris Pratt for Mario and Garfield. Is there anybody out there who's like, I wasn't going to see this Mario movie, but I'm a big Chris Pratt fan?
I think it's so parents will be like, okay, like I know this guy. If I'm gonna go see this versus some like kids movie where a guy who's not in the Avengers movies is in this, I guess I'll pick this one.
I think that's what what Hollywood thinks, but I don't think that's reality. I think in reality,
you telling me these Hollywood execs don't know what they're doing?
They're disconnected from real people. I don't think anybody goes to any of these movies or rents them or anything based on the celebrity voices. And I think they could make these movies so much cheaper if they didn't pay these celebrities massive amounts of money.
The other thing is, Tom, I do think, like, have you ever seen like one of these animated movies, like the computer animated movies that don't have any celebrities, and you're just like,
no, I don't think so.
You're like, this movie looks like trash. So like legitimizes them in a way that it's like,
yeah,
oh, there's real people involved with this, and they can do a junket, and they can like, people will want to write articles about this person, so they'll have to mention. This.
I mean, I was gonna say that I guess all these, like this new Mario movie, they're already, I'm sure, spending a fortune on the actual computer generated stuff. So it's probably like, it's a drop in the bucket to get Chris Pratt in here.
You want to know a gossip item I read, Tom, in the gossip pages?
Ooh, what's Tim? Of course I do.
They're like, hey, you wonder why Chris Pratt's getting so many voiceover roles? Might be due to the fact that he's the hottest actor in Hollywood right now. But all of the movie sets have vaccine requirements. But you know what doesn't? A voiceover booth.
Yeah, voiceover studio wouldn't, huh? Well, that would explain why he's taking. Yeah, so I guess that's what they're saying, that like he's getting job offers, but being like, I won't get that dang vaccine.
Yeah, and so he's just like, sure, I'll make, how much do you think he's making to be Mario? Like $30 million or something?
No, probably not that much, but it's probably like $5 million for like a week's worth.
Yeah,
week's work. Do you think there's a chance that his father-in-law might hold him down and force the vaccine into him?
Yeah, his father-in-law is pro-vax, right?
Yeah, he's very pro-vax. And also, like, he's talked about his father-in-law's famous strongman Arnold Schwarzenegger, for anybody that's not familiar.
Former Mr. Universe.
You may remember him from the movies such as Hercules in New York.
Former and current Mr. Universe.
But yeah, and I think he's even talked about the Arnold, the fact that he's like, I am older, I am at risk for COVID, even though
he's winking. He's like, yeah, just kidding.
Well, no,
yeah, I'm gonna get sick. Yeah, me, Arnold.
I think he's doing a genuinely good service of like, hey, other 70-year-old people that think you're gonna be fine. I don't think I'm gonna be fine, and I guarantee you don't look like me.
Right.
So go get vaccinated.
So anyway, as you were saying, monkeys like bananas.
Monkeys like bananas, but they don't find them in the wild.
Right.
And have you seen about like how like peel a banana like a monkey?
Every once in a while it goes viral that like, oh, you're peeling bananas the wrong way. The banana experts, monkeys, do it this way. Shut up.
Well, and that's the thing. It's all like a false premise because we've all been led to believe who knows bananas better than monkeys.
Yeah. And guess what?
And it turns out monkeys like bananas because we gave them bananas at a zoo and they were like, great, of course. You give monkeys anything, they'll like it.
And I'm sorry, I know that monkeys have like hands like ours or whatever, but we still have better motor skills than fucking a monkey can't like drive a car. So I'm going to peel a banana the same way?
I think you could probably train a monkey to drive a car. I wish somebody would try. I mean, especially nowadays with like all this like self-driving stuff, like everybody's like, well, where are we going to get to like the completely autonomous car? I want to know, where are we going to get to a car that's good enough for a monkey to drive it?
Yeah, that's true. And that might be, there are things, they're like, you're never going to have 100% perfect self-driving car, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you're always going to, but can you have it close enough that every new Tesla comes with a monkey that's there?
Yeah.
And guess what? Just for emergencies, just to take over when the car doesn't know what to do. That's when the monkey steps in.
And if you're not using the automated driving, there's a compartment that the monkey goes in, and it's very nice.
He's happy. He's happy.
It takes up a majority of the car.
You have to dump in a bunch of bananas every 6 hours.
Yeah, but when you're recharging the Tesla, it takes a while anyway. So you got plenty of time to feed the monkey while you're doing it. Those Tesla superchargers, they can also have like banana trees next to them.
Yeah, no, they could just there could be another hose that just has like banana puree that he can just mainline into.
Yeah, 2 ports on the new Teslas, one for electricity, one for banana puree. Yeah, but monkeys, the whole thing with monkeys is that they like flip the banana over. What? What are you laughing at? It's a good idea.
I know. Sorry.
That monkeys flip the banana over and they peel it from the bottom. What are you laughing at? Are you just laughing at the idea of a car coming with a monkey?
No, we've been talking about the way a monkey eats a banana for 15 minutes.
Well, and now I'm finally going to explain how they eat it. They turn it upside down and peel it from the bottom. The whole thing is they do this so they don't break the stem off. Well, I don't break the stem off either because I'm not a fucking moron. When I peel a banana, I do a good job every time. And I'm sick of hearing that a monkey's going to do it better than me.
That's what I'm saying, too. Like, stop telling, hey, you're doing it wrong. I'm not doing it wrong. I'm doing it the way a human does, and we figured it out.
Maybe a monkey's doing it wrong.
Yeah, that should be the default. We should assume that the monkey's doing everything wrong.
Yeah, when have you ever heard about a monkey doing anything right? Except making people laugh.
Yeah. Curious George, he's causing problems for freaking everybody he encounters.
Yeah. You think the man with the yellow hat's got a license for Curious George?
No.
He's one of these. He's one of these guys. Every time the man with the yellow hat comes into a store with Curious George, the owner's like, "Oh, Jesus fucking Christ, this guy again, the goddamn monkey."
Yeah.
And this monkey makes a mess. It shits all over my store. The guy does a bad job even watching the monkey.
It goes in like the stock room and without permission. At the restaurant next door, he just goes into the kitchen and starts touching all the food.
Yeah, and this guy's not even paying attention. He's dressed like an asshole. He's dressed obviously like somebody who wants a lot of attention, but then doesn't want to give attention to his monkey.
Yeah, the monkey is
I'm
just
sick of it. Pull all the cancel
accessory.
the man in the yellow hat. That's what I say. Pull all those books.
Let's burn them.
Tim, another thing that frustrates me about bananas is the idea that I feel like our entire life they've been telling us bananas are going to go extinct.
Yeah. What is that about? There's like, this is one specific type of banana that is endangered.
Yeah, so the banana that most people eat in America is a Cavendish banana.
Okay.
And the reason is, I didn't know this, but like wild bananas out there, they're full of freaking seeds.
Oh,
like
really?
Like big hard seeds.
This is why most fruits suck, right?
Seeds, yeah.
Seeds. When you ever buy grapes and then you realize, these are seeded grapes. They're not seedless.
Yeah.
Who the hell has time for that?
These are a death trap. These are a choking hazard I've bought instead. Have you ever seen like Renaissance paintings of watermelons, though?
I have not.
Well, you should come to the museum sometime with me.
You're always inviting me out to the museum. I'm just not into art, Tom.
There are like Renaissance paintings of watermelons, and these like watermelons back during the Renaissance look like shit.
Too many seeds?
Way too many seeds, and they're like all rind. Like barely anything to eat inside there. So we've like bred watermelons to be much better. We did that with bananas, but the problem is because these bananas that the Cavendish, since they don't have seeds, all we're doing is like cloning these bananas over and over and over again. So because they're not being pollinated and like regrowing, we're just taking like like an offshoot and then like grafting it onto something else and having it grow. So it's like all essentially from like the same plant.
No, I don't see any problem with this.
Well, the problem is, Tim, the banana you had today that stopped you from breathing for a few minutes, essentially genetically identical to the banana that stopped you breathing 30 years ago. Okay.
But people see this as a problem?
Well, the problem is that there are multiple, like funguses and stuff that attack bananas.
Yeah, okay.
And because these bananas are all genetically the same, they can't evolve to have any kind of resistance against it. So basically, they've been saying like it's a matter of time before this spreads like crazy to all the bananas, and then that's just it. All the Cavendish bananas are gone. And the reason why they say this is because this has happened before.
And the bananas came back. So not so smart, are you?
This was well, so one of the things they're afraid of is Panama disease. And this isn't the same Panama disease that Van Halen was singing about.
I was about to ask if it was the same disease that Van Halen was singing about in Panama.
So it like cuts off the flow of water and nutrients, causing the plant to wilt, and exposing the rest of the plant to lethal amounts of sunlight. But get this, Tim, prior to 1960, almost all commercial banana production was centered on Gros Michel. That was the name of the bananas everybody was eating, or Gros Michel.
Gros Michel.
Yeah, Gros Michel, GROS space MICHEL.
Okay.
And Gros Michel was very susceptible to Panama disease. So the Cavendish was chosen as a replacement because it produced like a higher quality fruit. And but two things about this. Apparently the Gros Michel was easier to ship. Like it wasn't as like fragile in shipping. And some people claim, of course, because it was, the 60s, that Gros Michel's tasted better than Cavendish's.
And they got you high.
No,
they made you trip balls.
I've got something to say about that later, but the Cavendish.
We might not have time because we talked about monkeys eating bananas for far too long.
All right, I'll bring it up pretty soon then. But no, I mean the Gros Michels like went out, so they had to switch to the Cavendish. And the problem with the Cavendish is that at some point they're like, we're gonna have to switch to a different banana, and the other varieties, it seems like the varieties of bananas, it like goes down in taste as they get affected.
Tom, I'll tell you one thing. They'll figure this out. They'll crack this. They'll get a new type of banana, these monsters, and it's going to be tastier than ever. They'll get the food scientists on it. They will prioritize this above taking CO2 out of the air or protecting us or protecting the oceans, and we will have our delicious bananas, Tom. God forbid the monkeys don't have their bananas.
We've figured out a way to grow the bananas that we use for Runts candy.
Ooh, at like regular banana size, though?
As full-size bananas. So no worries about this. Yeah, I mean, I still thought it was right around the corner, but they said like, we're really worried about this in the next 10 to 20 years. It's like, you know what? 20 years from now, if I can't eat the same bananas, I'm sure I'll have other shit to worry about. It's fine.
Yeah.
Also on this banana page on Wikipedia, there's like a picture of an overripe banana on there because there's like a big section that explains like ripeness and how all that's determined and stuff. Mm-hmm. And I was just thinking like, who's the maniac that's like, oh, the Wikipedia page on bananas needs a picture of an overripe banana. Let me take it.
Someone who wants that clout. Someone who wants that glory.
Yeah. He's probably rubbing elbows with Chris Pratt right now.
Yeah, you're what a loser. He's chilling on a private island, Tom. Unvaxxed and happy.
All right. Tim, let me talk about the idea that bananas can get you high, because what you're referring to, Tim, I'm afraid to tell you, is colloquially known as the Great Banana Hoax of 1967.
God damn it.
And you fell for it, Tim.
I'm always falling for these hoaxes from the 1960s. First, I thought Paul McCartney died in a car accident.
Here we are, what, like 50 years later, 55 years later, falling for the hoax still.
I'm just a mark, Tom. I'm an easy mark.
Yeah, so the Great Banana Hoax came about because this was a time, this was during Vietnam War and stuff, and just like a lot of civil unrest. Mm-hmm. JFK had somewhat recently been blown away.
I mean, what else do we have to say?
Yeah. So I apologize for any beeps you might be hearing. I keep getting these text messages from Google that my account has been compromised.
Yeah, I'm sure it's fine.
Yeah, I just have to go to rest1-mail/live. I would think it would have been at google.com, but I guess they're all out of those. Anyway, I've muted my mic so you don't get these anymore. What was I talking about? Oh, the Great Banana Hoax of 1967, of course. One of these underground magazines that hippies love to read. They perpetuated it, and it just spread like wildfire. These underground magazines were basically the 4chan of the late 1960s.
These hippies were the worst.
Yeah, so they were just spreading this idea that, like, no, actually, if you take a bunch of banana peels, like, dry them out, and I guess maybe grind them up, and then roll them into a doobie and smoke them, oh boy, you can get high. You can get high on your own supply. Apparently, there was like a run on bananas at the stores. Like,
that's a sign of a good hoax, Tom.
It is a sign of a good
banana hoax.
Maybe one of these awful companies like Chiquita or Dole that produces almost all the bananas came up with this idea.
Right.
But it's not true. But I do wonder if part of that is because, like, weed was so bad in the 60s that it was just like, yeah, I guess just inhaling smoke.
Yeah, I think it
does make me feel kind of high.
Something.
Yeah.
Talk about that. If I tried that, Tom, can you imagine how out of breath I'd be?
Tim, I think if you tried smoking banana peels, it would probably kill you.
Yeah.
I mean, if eating them makes it hard for you to breathe,
I don't eat the peels,
I imagine
Tom.
inhaling them into your lungs would make it real bad. But yeah, and speaking of which, do you know about the term Banana Republic?
I do. I've heard of it. It's where I get all my fancy dress shirts.
Tim, there's a different kind of Banana Republic. This is a Banana Republic run with an even tighter iron fist. It is a politically unstable country with an economy dependent upon the exportation of a limited resource product. So this specifically refers to, I believe, Guatemala and Honduras were banana republics, where basically you had these companies coming in. Like the Cavendish banana was introduced or, like, I don't know, discovered or bred around 1836. What?
Nothing. Go on.
So you had these companies cropping up with these like 1800s businessmen. I mean, what do we know about 1800s businessmen? They were ruthless.
They're slimy.
The slimy. They didn't give a shit about anybody.
They had mustaches.
This guy
they had soot all over their faces.
Well, one of these
Big
guys,
10-gallon hats.
Lorenzo Dow Baker. He was a captain of a schooner, and he realized that he could buy bananas in Jamaica, ship them up to Boston, sell them at 1,000% profit. So, of course, they were like, well, let's go to these poor countries and just make them grow bananas for us. We'll make so much money, especially compared to their economies, that's just like, no, we're just in charge. Like, we decide who's going to be in charge of the country. We decide the government. If we don't like the government, then we'll give like a rebel organization a bunch of money to overthrow them, to install a more favorable company. And then, then that country can never get out from under that company's thumb. Because anybody that tries to stand up to them, they'll just get leveled by Chiquita or Dole. So that's a Banana Republic, Tim. It's not just a store in the mall.
That's not a lot. That's not very fun, Tom.
No, it's not very fun.
You want to know what is fun?
What's that? Tell. I know what you're going to say.
Freaking banana peels, Tom. Look, I might not like bananas, but I sure do love the peels and what they do to people. They make them slip.
And you're not, you should be clear, Tim, you're not talking about smoking them.
No. I'm talking about, leaving them out on the street and then watching somebody slip and fall.
It is a funny thing because I feel like there's so many things as a young person you see in cartoons and you're, like quicksand, and you're very excited about to start encountering in real life. And then it just never happens.
Right.
But banana peels, they do make people fall down if they step on them. They are very slippery.
They are. Although I have to say, every year at the New York City Marathon, I'm always very disappointed.
Because they're always eating bananas.
They're always eating bananas and throwing the peels on the ground, and I'm like, great, there's tens of thousands of people running by this banana. Someone's going to slip on this banana peel, and it's going to cause a massive, somebody's going to trip over them. Yeah, exactly. Never happens. Never saw it once.
And then all collectively, they're all going to slide to the finish line.
and someone
they're not going to know who won.
They'd set a new world record because they just coast in real quick.
Yeah.
Tom, you might think it's obvious that they cause people to slip because the one side, the outer peel is,
slippery, slick.
The inner peel
moist,
is slick, and the outer peel is like grippy.
Right, so it will get stuck to your shoe.
But these scientists weren't content to leave it at that. They had to study it, Tom. And it turns out these Japanese physicists won the Ig Nobel Prize. The Ig Nobel Prize.
So not the Nobel Prize.
Right.
Or Nobel Prize.
Right. But it's also, those are for they sound silly. Like it's for discoveries that sound like they're silly or stupid, but actually do have applicable
practical usage.
Yeah, exactly. So it turns out, Tom, the substance on the inside are these little gooey sacs that are filled with polysaccharide follicular gel.
Wow.
Apparently, they're going to use that stuff to make artificial joints for prosthetic limbs.
Oh wow! And it doesn't break down or whatever.
No, that's why it
people are going to have to. People are going to have to replace their artificial limbs as quickly as you have to replace bananas. They're going to be like, this artificial limb's overripe now.
Just put it in a bag with an apple.
I also wanted to talk about.
Wait, hold on.
Should we wrap up and then I'll talk about it?
Can I talk about this one experiment that these scientists did, which makes me think
absolutely.
Like when people are like, we need to believe the scientists on everything, which I believe, but also they're scientists.
But not all scientists.
The scientists first tested the slipperiness or friction of a banana peel on a linoleum plate, and compared it with how much a shoe would slide on a banana-free floor. So basically, they were just like, let's see if a banana peel is more slippery than a shoe. Did you need to run an experiment there?
Well,
watch a goddamn Bugs Bunny cartoon for once in your life.
Were they trying to find that out, or was it like we're trying to see how much more slippery?
Tom, guess what? There's video of them trying it out. When they saw that it was more slippery, they were all surprised. They were shocked.
Was it for Japanese television?
There was no video of it. I was just kidding, Tom.
Oh, okay. Because I was going to say, if you ever watch Japanese television, it's just all people being shocked at everything happening.
All right. I'm not prepared to go down this road with you.
If you like the show, you can find out more at tcgt.com. Hey, sign up to our Patreon, patreon.com/complete guide. You can get episodes of books, the podcast, Tim and Tom Go to the Movies, a whole bunch of back episodes, new episodes every week. There's also a tier for ad-free podcasts if you don't like ads, if you're anti-capitalism. What were you going to say?
If you're anti-capitalist, give us money instead of listening to ads. Yeah.
Yeah. Follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/complete guide. Follow us on Twitter @complete guide. You can follow us on Instagram @TCGTE. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram @Tom Reynolds.
Follow me at your pal Tim.
And also check out our subreddit, reddit.com/r/TCGTE, where people came out in droves after you mentioned that the weekly discussions. And the guy who used to I don't know if it's a guy or a girl who used to post. Oh, it is a guy. He told me his name. Who used to post the weekly discussions. Mm-hmm. He basically was like, yeah, I got tired of doing it, which is 100% fair.
Yeah, we weren't shaming him at all.
Well, he did say you made fun of him because Sublime was in his username.
I didn't make fun of him.
He said you made fun of him for liking Sublime.
Not last week, though.
No, not last week. Earlier.
Yeah, probably.
But yeah, the Reddit, Discord, you can find the link to the Discord server on tcgt.com. Tim, you know about, speaking of the internet, about like the whole banana for scale thing?
The banana for scale? Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I feel like that's an inaccurate scale because bananas are all different kinds of sizes.
That's true. That's all part of the fun of the internet, though.
But I didn't know that they also use the idea of a banana for scale for radiation. Did you know bananas are radioactive, Tim?
What? No wonder they're messing with my breathing.
Bananas contain potassium, we all know about and we're all happy about, but they contain potassium 40, which is a radioactive element, a type of radioactive potassium. But they use this to kind of explain, because like obviously it's not a lot of radiation, that consuming one banana is 1% of the average daily exposure to radiation that you get. 50 times less than a dental x-ray and 400 times less than taking a commercial flight across the United States.
All of this is very troubling to me. Wait, hold on. You get more radiation from a flight than from the dentist x-ray?
Yes.
This is troubling.
A lot more.
Yeah.
Almost 10 times as much, like 8 times as much radiation.
Staying off airplanes. I haven't been on airplanes in a couple of years, and I'm never going back. I've never been happier, Tom. I've never been happier than after these past 2 years.
It is weird that, like, I don't know, it seems like they make a big deal about dental x-rays. They put a lead vest on you and they leave the room. I mean, I guess it makes sense if it's like, yeah, if you're a dentist and you're being a dentist for like 40 years, yeah, you shouldn't be in the room every time you're taking an x-ray. That will add up.
Yeah, but do you need to put a freaking 150-pound lead thing over me?
Yeah, when you're telling me like they don't do that at the supermarket if I'm buying 50 bananas.
Right.
They aren't like, hey, easy, pal. You're not going to eat these all in one go without wearing a lead vest, are you?
I mean, they're concerned for you for other reasons. They're like, yeah, you that guy with the Tesla out there? You feeding your monkey?
You know, that's not an official feature they've rolled out. I don't know how you created an extra port in your Tesla.
You see them calling Monkey Protective Services.
Dude, that's the same as just regular animal services, which is, if I was a monkey, I'd be mad about.
Yeah.
Also, the last important fact I wanted to mention, that a lot of people, guess where a lot of people heard about, at least like in like the West, heard about bananas for the first time?
The Jungle Book.
No, Around the World in 80 Days.
Oh, my favorite book of all time, Tom. And my favorite movie.
Jules Verne introduced the idea of bananas to a lot of people.
Wow. Okay. That's a lot of information. Hey, Tom.
That's all you need to know about bananas.
One more thing. They're shaped like a wiener.
What?
Yeah.
No.
Look it up.
All right. And you're going to have to give me some websites to check out.
Yeah, I'll send you some links.
All right. We'll see you next week. Put them in the show notes, too.
Yeah, I'll put them in the show notes.
All right, great. We'll see you next week.
That was a HeadGum podcast.